So we've been doing 40 minutes of play without any commentary from me because I didn't notice the microphone was not doing any. Sorry about that, everyone. Okay, that's not good. Mistakes will be made every once in a while. Dang it. Okay, so where were we? We have done... Summary for those of you who couldn't hear what I was saying. We have done an Italian declaration of war on France and activated Iraq to make sure that Iraq stayed neutral. We have done an American gearing up, activating Ireland to make sure that Ireland stays neutral. And now we're doing the German declaration of war on Norway, and we have a -10 in total to Norway, because the Norwegians surprisingly do not like being declared war upon. So there we are with that. So yeah, apologies to everyone for 40 minutes of silence before this. I should pay attention to my settings more closely. I usually do, but I've had a little bit of a hiatus for my broadcast, and I miss it today. Norway -9. Poland doesn't exist anymore. Romania -1. Sweden -1. Turkey +1. Yugoslavia -1. So Romania -1. That's a -2 in total. Don't like it. Weird Germany. Then we have Sweden -1. Sweden is mildly unhappy with the declaration of war. I would have expected more. Oh, there we go. Yes, Norway, that's another -3. Yeah, that's what we could expect. So that's actually a -4 altogether. Yeah, that makes more sense. Makes more sense. So a -4 to Sweden. Here we go. And then we have Turkey +1. Turkey doesn't react at all to a declaration of war on Norway, right? Nope, it does not. So it's just a simple +1. And there are no counters there at the moment. We add that one. And a -1 to Yugoslavia. Is there any reaction in Yugoslavia to enact war against? Nope, they don't care. So -1 to Yugoslavia, which is that. Jumpy map again. Just a straight up -1. There we have it. Okay. Germany now gets to activate a minor country, and we know that we're not going to activate Norway. Finland is at a -2. Yeah, we don't want to activate that either. What do we want to activate? Just a bunch of minuses here to Turkey. I could activate it to just move it one step closer to Germany, because we do have the +1. Sweden -4, that's not cool. Hungary has all the bonuses we possibly could need, and is in fact, they would end up on top of Germany, because I could play it like however I want to, and it would still end up, I'll just use the +8 class and it's going to end up there. Yugoslavia -3 to Italy, +1 to France and the Soviet Union, -1 to Germany. Can we budget at all from here? Nope, because of that alliance with France. We cannot budget. Who should I activate is the great question. I am leaning strongly towards just activating it for Germany, activating Hungary. That would give Germany the Hungarian resource. Take that away from Italy. And I think Germany needs all the resources she can get right now. And also this might be a step towards future realignments for Hungary. So how would we play this? I'm not sure it really matters that much. A -3 would be like 1, 2, like that, for the Soviets. And then we have -2 to Britain, which would move it down there, but not further. -3 to France. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, yeah. Not gonna matter a whole lot. +4 to Italy, boom. And then +8 to Germany, like that. Hungary is currently allied with Italy, but is on top of the German marker. And I do believe this means that Hungary switches control to the stack with you gain the effect above plus your main align. Okay, so use any resources in that minor country, even those committed to another major power. This does mean exchange that for a German marker. And of course, it's just the one resource. So Italy loses one resource, like loses a production, while Germany gains a resource and currently has more than enough production, so more than enough production multiple, so it just shifts one money from Italy to Germany. Though in the future, Italy can break its alliance with Hungary and Germany can make an alliance with Hungary to make Hungary join in with the war. That is a practical situation that might well happen. Alright, now let's see if the political turn ends or not. The way we've been rolling throughout this campaign, it should probably end now, but we never know. 1, 2, 3, 4 is the die roll. The 5+ continues the turn. And I rolled a 9. The turn continues. And France gets to do something. So, 7 bids from France, which brings us down to -10. And France... Oh, did I? I didn't. Let's go. Berlin formalizes the Norwegian campaign. German government has formally declared war on Norway, giving legal and political recognition to a campaign already underway along the Norwegian coast. Berlin claims the invasion was necessary to prevent Allied interference in Scandinavia and to secure vital northern supply routes. German forces have already established a bridgehead near Oslo, supported by naval escorts and air transport command elements. The campaign is expected to secure Germany's access to Scandinavian resources while denying Britain and France a foothold close to the Reich's northern flank. Norway, which sought to remain outside the European war, now finds its mountains, ports and merchant fleet drawn directly into the conflict. And France will trigger its coup cell in Spain. Boom! That will cost 5 points. So France is now at a max. Yeah, they've maxed out their credit card here. It's a minor coup. Political crisis erupts in Spain. Reports from Spain indicate that a long-dormant conspiracy has suddenly moved into action, threatening to plunge the country into renewed political crisis at the very moment France faces grave danger on its own frontiers. The French government has denied direct involvement, but observers note that Paris has long maintained contacts among factions hostile to Axis influence. The result remains uncertain. The coup may fail, it may produce civil war, or it may push Spain sharply toward one of Europe's rival political camps. For France, the gamble is enormous. A friendly Spain could transform its strategic position in the Western Mediterranean and threaten the Axis from an unexpected direction. A hostile outcome could place yet another danger along France's already overextended frontier. So let's have a look, shall we? This is the second coup cell exploding in Spain during this game. The first one was triggered by Italy, and nothing happened at all. And we're going to check... That's not true. Spain actually moved into the neutral sphere, but there was no actual civil war, obviously. So let's have a do minor coup. Do a coup target. If your coup... Nobody's here to neutralize it. Roll a die. Subtract 1 for the result of each alliance the minor has with another major power, which is nothing, so we don't subtract anything for that. The year is 1940, so there's no +1 here. They're not allied to France. They're not allied to anyone. And the stability factor. Let's see. The Spanish stability is terrible. Spain has a stability of 3, apparently. I thought it was worse. Okay, so we add +3 then to the roll. We roll a d10 for France. If you're wondering about the rationale, that was the roll. It's because France might fall this turn if things go poorly on the battlefield. If that coup cell is ever going to be used, this is basically a 2 plus 3. That's only a 5. Counter coup for 1 die. That's terrible. The minor doesn't have any alliances with any other major powers. Wait, 1 for each alliance. Add 1 for each alliance you have. France has an alliance with Yugoslavia, so that's +1. It also has another alliance with Romania, so that's +2. We do not have any other alliances right now with France, so instead of... What did I roll? I rolled 2 plus 3. That's 5, but it's +2 more. So it's a 7. It's a 2 dice coup. 2 dice coup. Alright. No civil war this time either. For once, Spain is rock steady. You roll 1 to 3 dice of political control. Coups do not remove alliances to the minor. Okay, the total roll on the dice is the political modifier. That's the coupping major power places. Okay, that is exactly the kind of outcome France wanted. It could have been a little bit better if we had a 3 dice coup, but this has to be seen as a good thing. So we're going to roll 2d10, basically, to find out how many political points towards France are placed in Spain. 1, that's a 4, plus a 2. Okay, that was terrible, so that's only a 6. Average should be a 10, obviously, when you roll a 2d10. But +6 is still +6, which is nothing to sneeze at. And just might be a case here for activating Spain to get Spain out of the neutral center. We have a lot of various negatives here. That was the resolution. That was the whole coup thing. Was not implicated. If coup occurs, remove the minus alliance markers of MPs whose initiative is higher than yours. Yeah, but that didn't happen. Initiative less than or equal to the miners' willpower. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no. Willpower for Spain is 3. And France's initiative is a 4. I can't even do this. So forget about it. Sorry about that, France. Such a wonderful result, and we can't even do it. Because we didn't have enough. Okay, but 5 points, 5 money for something else then. We can try breaking. It's either going to be that or just a 0G, I think, at this stage. Okay, can we break the Soviet alliance with Yugoslavia? Minor alliance. Break another roll die. Let's see. In Yugoslavia, we have pretty good situation there. Add 1 to the result of each factory resource marking you have in the minor. France doesn't have any. Add the miner's willpower. Yugoslavia's willpower is 4, so that would plus 4. Subtract your initiative position, which is a 4. So instead of a plus 4, we now have a 0. Subtract the distance in hexes between your major power's political marker and the miners, which is nothing. So that's not going to be subtracted. But we do get a minus 3 in total. I don't think Yugoslavia is... Nope, they're not hostile. Also Italy. So it's going to be a minus 3 on the die roll. So we need to roll more than 0. And we did. So the alliance between the Soviet Union and Yugoslavia, and for some reason I can't... Oh, there we go. That's the marker right there. Is broken. Because I couldn't coup Spain. The coup in Spain will have to wait another turn, apparently. If there is time to wait. Okay. Remove its marker from beneath. So we've done that. This is an essential step for France to join Yugoslavia into the war. War chart plus minus 1 to all other... You're not breaking your own. So per treaty chart then. So it's a treaty chart thing, this. We're making a treaty with Yugoslavia. That is what this counts as. And it's Yugoslavia. It's 1940. That's going to be a plus 3 to France for US entry. So 48. Which gives us an effective US entry of 20 against Germany. Minus 21 for Italy. 16 for Japan. That's going to be it for now with that part. And then as for the treaties, making a treaty with Yugoslavia. Austria doesn't exist. Bulgaria has a minus 1 to France. There's a lot of politics going on this time, folks. Much more than we're used to on this broadcast. Because we usually don't have these many countries getting to play political options. So it was bound to happen sooner or later that we got a longer turn, right? Bulgaria minus 1, plus 2 to Czechoslovakia doesn't matter because they don't exist. Plus 1 to Greece does matter. So that goes away. Hungary minus 3. Okay. Not sure that France cares that much about the effects on Hungary, given where Hungary is going right now on the political chart. Can't get any further away. Right. +1 to Poland, which doesn't exist. +2 to Romania. Oh, that's nice. Romania is actually a country worthy of activating. Because it's in an excellent position for that. You might be able to drag them all the way over here to France and then activate them as well, get them into the war on France's side. That would be a great coup for France. -1 Turkey. And +3 to Yugoslavia, which gives us a +4 in total. Yugoslavia, ever closer knit to France, its current only ally. Now France will activate a minor country, and I think we're looking at Romania for all sorts of reasons. Okay, so why does it do the jumping thing? -1 to the Soviet Union is not interesting right now, but -2 to Germany might be. 1, 2, +2 to France, I think, is what we need to start with, honestly. So, 1, 2, like that. Then -2 to Germany. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Would this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, no, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it stalls there, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, it doesn't get quite all the way. It stalls here. That's as far as we get. So close to Romania being on top of France. Because France has a later initiative than Germany, Germany gets to keep all the oil this turn. Yeah, Romania is getting ever closer to an all-out joining of the war against Germany. So we have now 2 potential countries that can join on France's side, Romania and Yugoslavia. Hungary can join on Germany's side, but Germany needs first Italy to remove its alliance with Hungary, and then Germany needs an alliance with Hungary for that to happen. So that's going to take a moment. That finishes France's action. So now we roll the die again to see if the turn ends, and it's 2. The turn does indeed end. Britain does not get to declare war on Italy this turn. It's going to have to wait. It only bid a single point out of its nothing, so it has 3 money left. Thanks to its very high political efficiency, it has 6 bid points now. And then we have the Soviets. They bid a single point out of their no points, so they now have -2 money, but they have a political efficiency of 4, so that is 4 bid points. I'm sure they're going to be used soon, this turn or the next. Japan bid a single point, has 2 effectiveness, so up to 7 bank points, and China 1, ±1 as always. So that concludes the political affairs. We will now turn to reinforcements. That was a longer political turn than usual for our game. Half of the countries got a chance to play. That usually doesn't happen. That's like twice as many as usual. Alright, we are in fact in May-June. Britain does not have to have an election this year, of course, because Britain is at war. Japan. We're getting another group of destroyer hulls laid down in the production pool. Japan has a bunch of those, including 2 hulls for aircraft carriers. And we'll soon have to build a superstructure in one of those. Japan also gains a transport. So it's transport and an infantry army. And over here we have the entire Japanese Navy. Why not add some more to that? There's a lot of work to be done in China for Japan. Getting all the way into the heartlands there. It's so close, but we're not there yet. And it might be hard to get through there. Okay, we have Soviet reinforcements here. 3 infantry and a tank army as well. That's a lot of armies. Now the Siberians will start in Siberia because of course they will. But what about the rest of these boys? We can have a tank army here in Minsk. We can have an infantry army as well. Do I have anything here? Oh. So we have 2 tank armies in Leningrad, including all the air forces and more troops there. So we can't really squish anything more in there. Put army into Kyiv. It's a nice enough place this time of year. And then we have some Siberians out here, crack troops. And that is the reinforcements over there. Oh, we have ourselves an offensive chit for Germany. We knew that was coming. Let's put that in Berlin so we know who has that. Alright, we have May, June. Italy gains 2 infantry corps. 1 destroyer group, hulls laid down, is going to need them. We have... The British have an aircraft carrier group, hulls laid down as well. And we have an American battleship group, hulls laid down. There's a lot of American stuff in the construction pool here. We also have some German stuff coming in, very important, and some British stuff. Okay, so no French reinforcements to speak of, because France is fully... the beeps there. Turned that off. Started the broadcast. But I didn't. Okay, we have 2. Look at that. We can put both of our new infantry armies into Genoa. Do I have an air transport with Italy yet? I don't think I do. I'm going to have to amend that. I have regular transports. Okay, for the Germans here, we have 1 Fallschirmjäger back in action. We have 1 fighter group. I do believe this is a city. Yes, it's Aachen, so that is a fair placement. Nope, cannot put the DAC in there, the Deutsches Afrika Korps, but I can put it in code. So let's do that. I'm sure this tank will be very useful very soon. And then we have a light surface unit for the British, which we can't put in Scapa because Scapa is not a resource. It's not a city. It's just a big port. So we have 1, 2, 3 aircraft in London, so we cannot put the air transport there either. We can put it in Southampton. And why not put the light surface in there as well? What we really need is a bunch of infantry that we do not have. So that's a scheduling error on the part of the British building plan here. We move on to, we've done the reinforcement step, initiative step. And Germany really wants the initiative this turn. They have a +1, so they are likely to get it, because they also have a reroll. Let's see if they get the initiative. No, that is in fact an allied initiative. We are gonna burn that to reroll, obviously. And that did the trick. We have another Axis initiative for May, June. Let's see what the weather might be like. I roll a 6. Whatever does that mean? We had March and April, no modifiers. I roll a 6. That is very clear everywhere that counts, really. Subtropical has mud and North Monsoon. Okay, the Japanese are not fans of this. They only get 1 attack in China. But I don't think that the Italians and the Germans mind it too much. So that was the weather segment. A resource transportation segment. We are going to grab one of these transports and convert it into a convoy here for future use, because I'm not sure we need to, honestly. Not yet. Could be useful here for if we can take Cyprus, Malta, but for now I don't really have any particular use for that. So right now we're tracing this resource to Italy. We do need to set up a supply line here so we need Italian Navy in the central Mediterranean to trace supply, because there is no major port around here that we can get supply to our troops with. So Italy does need to make at least a combined or a naval. We're probably going to do a naval with Italy. And I can see a soft juicy target here because the British aren't there. This is not a soft juicy target. And this is, yeah. There are problems here. There's a lot of allied navy out here to fight. Okay, Italy will do a naval, but unbeknownst to everyone, I don't think we're going to try and support these guys too much right now, because there's just so much navy out here. So instead, I'm going to be a little bit cheeky here, and we have these two armies here, which we like to appreciate. This is a resource that we can grab if we can get there, which is a big if. If I had planned this better, I would have put these guys here in the reinforcement stage. But we didn't know who was going to have the initiative when we put this, so that's that. To do an invasion, you have to be in the 2 or 3 box. So 1, 2, 3, 4 is not good for Italy. It's just not going to cut it. And since we lost so many naval air, we're probably going to lose that convoy line if we do this. But if we don't, so 1, 2. We do need to have our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, these guys are only 4s. So, like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These guys are 6s, so they can go all the way up there. And the Allies won't try to intercept that, of course, because that would be foolish. We will send these Italian ships, submarines, out on patrol. 1, 2, 3. No, 1, 2, 3. And apparently we will not be using these transports at all at the moment. Just realized the Alpine can move in here to the... I don't know why they would do that though, giving up nice positions in the mountains like that. But yeah, these guys are currently cut off. If they get bombed and flipped, they will in fact be very vulnerable to counterattack, and that is something that could be interesting for France. But before we get there, we have some other things to deal with. Italy is definitely going to go for the chase for these British destroyers here. So let's see if we can find anything. We would roll for both the Axis and the Allies. Search roll, it's a 2 for... Oh my! The Allies find, but the Axis are surprised. Let's not shoot at Vittorio Veneto, shall we? We will just shoot at these guys. That's a much better situation. So they have 6 in surface to surface, and we have 5. That was a bit embarrassing for the Italian Navy right there. Surface to surface, 6. And that side is surprised, so the 6 is going to be 3 to 5 against 2 naval units, which is 1-on-1. Alright. Yeah, it's 1-on-1, and the British have 5 against 2. 5, which turns into a 6, so that's 1-on-2. Okay, so British and... Okay. 1-on-1 is nothing. And the other was a 6-on-2, which is a destroyed light surface. So, boom. The guns in the Mediterranean echo out across the waters, and 1 Italian destroyer is sunk. Just wiped off the map in this not so good start to the Italian war versus the... That was a bad start. It was a bad start of the turn. Okay. Meanwhile, here in the Pacific, we have only 1 possible attack this turn, and we're definitely going to go at the 4-2 here, because that seems like the only reasonable thing to do. With Japan, it's all clear. I'm not very happy with the attack, honestly, because I'd rather have... This is the juicy bit down here. But we have, in the subtropical, did we have mud? I rolled a 6. What's the weather? May, June. Subtropical mud. Yeah, but the weather is turning in the south, right? So subtropical zone is here. So this is all muddy. HQs cannot move. 8 in defense, 9 in defense. We have here. Oh, that one should not be flipped. It's a new turn. We have here 13. 1, 2, 3. But there is a fighter here now. We need to rebase this fighter. So I don't want to send these guys in because that's going to be very expensive. They lose 9 points in defense. 14. But there is a blitzkrieg attack here. Even though it's so we have 14 plus 10. 24 plus 13. We said 24 plus 13 is a 37 versus a 9. That is 4-1, which is not too shabby at all. Even though it's muddy. What would we get here? 5, we have 12, that's 17 plus 3, 20, that's 5-1, that's actually better off. Though it's not on the blitzkrieg table, it's on the assault table. So I get 3 land moves because of the weather. So I can do a little bit of a shuffle here. 1. Not because of the weather, because it's combined. 2. This unit cannot move because it is in fact in the subtropical zone where HQs cannot move because of the mud. Okay then. 1, 2, 3. We can strafe these guys. Let's see if we do anything useful with that. It's a 1 or a 2. Let's go. And it's a success! The Japanese Air Force, our lieutenant, captain, I don't remember his level, his rank. He flips this unit of communists, and now it's a 5-1 with a +1. Can Mao do a support there? It's not the same hex. HQ support. What was that? HQ support. Sorry, I'm just looking it up, because it might matter right now. Or will it, honestly? Let's look at the table. 5-1, could be just down to a 4-1. Not really. It's not a huge difference. Maybe a little bit. But this is... there's only one defending unit, so... yeah. Maybe Mao will not be used for HQ support right now. We will just roll a d6 and see what happens with the assault. Okay, that was all academic. The communist Chinese unit is dead, destroyed by the attacking Japanese. And they are not even flipped. Which would have been great if they could attack once more. They can move again this turn, obviously, so this hex here is now important to plug, which is not going to be a problem for the Chinese. They can just scoop one unit there. But yeah, Mao needs some more communists to join his forces here. But that was a very successful turn for the Japanese in general. They have not moved anything naval. Let's do that. I forgot that completely. Let's do that. Where might we want to move these lads? I have basically 2 units in every hex where I can have units. Except there, apparently. So, okay then. 1, 2, 3, 4. These guys, I do have a 3rd move left to use, so they're now in Shanghai. And that would be it for the Japanese impulse. Now comes the German impulse, and it is definitely not going to be combined. It's going to be a land. And we're going to do attacks. And this could decide the entire game. Exciting! Alright, ground strike action. Let's go. We're going to burn that offensive Chit right away. Boom. Because why not? And this will be Germany's bomb run. We can get 1, 2, 3, 4. That one in there. We can get that one in there and that one in there. And then we still have some fighters left to defend versus other things. These fighters also have tactical ratings, so that is good for them. Commonwealth needs to reshuffle these guys so they're here instead, so I can move another fighter to the coastline here. But for now, I mean, this will do. Commonwealth can be the front fighter, and now we have 4, 5, 6. The question then for Germany is which fighters should go with the Stuka or the ground strike. We can do this. That gains us a +1. 4, 5, 6. We can throw in that one. So now it's even. Almost the entire French Air Force is in the air now. Against almost the entire German Air Force, one would have to say, given the situation here, right? Oh, I forgot an aircraft rebase. That's right. These guys. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. We're slowly moving them down towards the Chancellor. Or I could just rail them. I mean, it's going to be a lot of impulses. Who knows? Okay, so we have 0 versus 0, very high stakes air combat here between France and Germany, and I have no idea how this is going to go. This is very exciting now. Okay. But that was better for Germany than for France. Okay, so we have a 0, and France rolled a 7, which is a defender clears through, which is a nightmare for France. That's the worst result they could get. Hitler is ecstatic. Goering is ecstatic. And we rolled a 5 for the Germans on a 0. Defender aborts. Okay. Defender aborts its front fighter or bomber. There's only front fighters to abort, so it's the British who will return. There was a lot of metal in the air. That is it, though. That is the whole air battle, because we were fighting about letting these bombers through or not. So, because the bombers got through, that's the end of the aerial combat. Which also means Aku survives to fight another day. And the French Air Force has been just about completely used. This Marine down here. We had so for once Germany is not in complete trouble when it comes to the air forces. We are not going to bomb out here because there's just too much Royal Air Force here. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 6, 7, 8 points of them all together, which is just a lot for a single fort to handle. So we're not going to do that. Thank you very much. But because we've used an offensive chit, this entire stack will be automatically flipped because air-to-ground factors are not halved when you use an offensive chit. That should tell you something about how effective that is. And now then will come the attacks. The ground attacks. Actually, we have to follow the order here of things. Aircraft rebase phase. Yes, please. I am actually going to rebase because I have realized that Rundstedt, okay, he might be useful up here. 1, 2, 3. Okay, he might be useful up there. We can reorganize troops and all sorts of other funny things. So maybe I won't rebase the air transport there. Okay. Instead, we go to strategic movement phase. That's railing troops. I have no particular need for doing that right now. Instead, we're going to go to land movement phase. And I mean, honestly, there's just, piles of troops here who want to get in on the action, but hopefully, said the Germans, that will change now. I'm just not sure. Okay, I can move the George Africa Corps up there. Feel like they should be in the med somewhere. Is that the only land move I have? Not really. I can move these guys down here in case Yugoslavia gets any silly ideas. And that is basically it for the land moves. Can't do anything here. Can't do anything there. Air transport and paragraph phase. We're not gonna. Ooh, are we gonna do it? Okay, we're gonna do it. One air transport right here is going to be flipped as Rundstedt is sent up to join those troops. And land combat phase. Okay, because we now have an offensive chit, every blitzkrieg attack counts as 2 odds shift higher than normally. This is 13 in defense here. We can throw in 14 in attack, which is 1-to-1, but 3-to-1 with the odds shift. We can also support that further with Kesselring to make it a 4-to-1. However, will we do that? Because we have here 3. This is -1 for the shore bombardment for both of us. It's 3 points plus 1 point. It's 4 points of shore bombardment there. So they have 13 plus 4. 13 plus 4. And I can't do anything about the shore bombardment, obviously. So that's 17 in defense. Now we have worse odds. And we can also throw in further support here with another 8 points from the tactical bombers. That gives us a 25 in defense in total, which is a lot. Yeah, 25 in defense. We have here, I can't even do much about that because I could send up my 1 fighter here, but that would be bad because of the complete domination of the RAF. They cannot reach down here. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is where they cannot reach. So that's going to be 25. So we have here 14 against 25, which is 1-2 barely. But it's Blitzkrieg, and we're doing, when offensive chit is 2-1, we can shift it up to 3-1 using Kesselring, which obviously we're going to try to. So that's one attack. We're going to do a second attack here in the south with, I think I should roll for this one right away just to resolve it. So let's remove those dice there, and Kesselring will try to offer HQ support, and will succeed. So we now have, in fact, a 3-1 Blitzkrieg, which is not amazing, but it is amazing because when you consider which forces are involved here, basically the German forces are moving in the winds of the Royal Air Force propeller. So let's go. No bonuses on the roll, but a 4. Oh, thank you for the follow, Heroic Logic. Welcome to the channel. A 4 on 3-1 Blitzkrieg table is a retreat. That is what we get here. So we're going to return this guy there. We're going to return this guy here. And all of these troops will have to retreat. I can retreat one unit here, and one unit here, and another unit. Oh, we can use HQ support for the Allies to try to reduce the odds shift there, which of course we should, which failed. Okay then, so Wavell has been used. I'm gonna put him over here then, I guess. And that means Kesselring has also been used. Here's the thing. I'm not sure I want to advance into this hex right now, because if I advance in with a 9-6 here, it's going to be attacked from 4 directions, and I'm going to leave myself vulnerable in Brussels. So that was not an amazing result for the Germans. It was a result, but it's not a breakthrough result, so we can't actually draw upon more tank armies to push towards Dunkirk here. Okay then, still, we push them back, and they will have to be back next impulse. Yeah. Here comes the next attack. We have here, all of these units are flipped, so we get a definite +1 on the attack roll. It's 10 in defense. The French will obviously send up everything they have in terms of tactical air, which is 8 points. Do we have more? Yes, we do. Okay then. 8 points. It's 1 too many, so that's 20 in defense. We have a 5 here as an aircraft they can use. I have a 4 in defense and to attack them with. So we do +1 for the French Air Force. But that might be worth it in case we do anything useful here. I'm not going to use the 4-2, I don't think. So this would force up the 5 to defend. Yeah, that's actually a good idea. We're forcing up the 5 to defend the French bombers. So now it's a -1 for Germany and +1, which is not a huge. It's not a huge difference in terms of air power here. It is still annoying, though. It is still annoying. Okay, let's go. Okay, a 5 and a 6. So it's a 5 for the French on the +1. Defender aborts. So this means that my aircraft is going home, which is annoying, and I rolled a 6 on the -1. Attacker clears through, which is also annoying. Okay, so they're all getting through, but the French Air Force is now completely spent. The fighters are now completely spent. And there will not be any more involvement from the French Air Force. So we're going to have 20 defense here. And we're going to 15 plus 7, because they're going across the river. Which is 23, right? Plus 7 is 22. My math is on point today. So it's 1-1 on the Blitzkrieg table, but +2 for the offensive Chit, so it's 3-1, and we can make it 4-1 with Manstein or who is it? Rommel. Rommel has a 50-50 chance of doing it. Manstein has almost a complete guarantee of doing it, so let's do it with Manstein. He's going to roll, and he's going to fail! Okay. That's annoying. How about using Georges here to reduce the odds? He succeeds! Okay, so instead of having 3-1, we have 2-1 on the Blitzkrieg table. That was the worst possible outcome, wasn't it? The Germans wanted to have a 4-1 here, but no, we have 2-1. On the other hand, we do have a +1 on the die roll, so that's the one mitigating factor here. And all the French bombers have been used. 3 plus 2 plus 1 is 3. It's 1 each. 1 each. I guess Georges dies the noble death here, defending his country, but does so with honor and grace and heroic effort. Because the line holds. Do we roll a 3? 1-1. We needed 1 more. We need 4 to really get through. Ugh. Georges is dead. He's going to come right back in next turn. All these units are flipped, except all of them are not flipped, because Rommel will be used to reorganize 3 of them. We had I guess we could lose the 35th Corps here. And then Rommel reorganizes everybody else. We have more troops. Yeah, I need my HQs to reorganize, so Germany actually loses a corps here. So we haven't actually broken through anywhere after all of that effort. We managed to make the move away from Dunkirk, but that's not going to help if we can't move in with enough forces here. It's Germany in a crisis right here. We have... Yeah, that doesn't work. Guys back here then. They are retreated. We have 6, we have 12 plus... Okay, we have 12 times 3. That gives us 36 in potential attack factors. 36 divided by 9 is 4-1. 36 by 6 is 6 to 1, so that's not cool. I do not want to tangle with that. These guys are flipped, of course, because they have been supporting this area here. There may still be openings for Germany. We've exhausted most of the air support for the Allies this turn. They really had to use their bombers to hold the line. So perhaps next turn there can be some breakthroughs. And these guys are still flipped, of course, so they're not going to get anywhere. I think I'm going to need to send the goal over there to plug the gap. I'm very happy that you love seeing a whiff stream, Heroic Logic. I do too, which is why I'm doing this. There isn't enough whiff representation on Twitch, is there? So, we have a lot of exhausted resources for the Allies here, and some resources for the Germans that have not been quite exhausted, including, for example, Paris. So I have a feeling this hammer blow through the Ardennes is probably not going to be the last we're going to see this turn. But it is the last we're going to see for this impulse. Germany did a land, so they can't do anything more right now against Norway, for example. And they can't do anything here because we don't want to move in here. We don't have anything else to move in there with them. Ugh, that hammer blow was something. But the line held barely, I'd say. One more. If I had rolled a 3 there, we would have had an opening to move in some troops, and that could have been interesting. But turn isn't over yet, and the organizational capacity for the Germans is certainly still out there. So let's see what can happen next. Now, this turn might take a while to get through. I don't know that this is the end for the German campaign. I think we'll have some more work cut out for us here. We are going to move. Japan cannot attack anything else this entire turn, so we're going to move this second communist army up into the mountains here as a blocking force to stop the Japanese from enveloping Lanzhou. The way to Urumqi is now open, but it would require an HQ moving all the way up there. I don't know that it's not immediately threatened. The Chinese can move 2 units, and I don't know if there is anything that I really want to move desperately with the Chinese, except maybe Chang down here, because this way he can provide HQ support, and we know that he's been amazing with HQ support so far, so let's keep that up. Do I want to move Stilwell up into the mountains? Probably not. This is 11 against 6. It's not very good odds. Xi'an is still holding. Surrounded from 4 hexes now. But it's 16 in defense, so it's formidable to try and get through them. Yeah. For Soviets, we can do some shuffling here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's exactly all the shuffling we can do. Except I can send both of these Siberians here by railroad. Where you took the Baltic states here. I can at any point declare limited wars against Romania and Finland, for example. Finland has a lot of troops though, so before I do that, I probably want to have some more forces built up. And one of the problems here is, of course, that we'd have to go into a forest with these tanks, which I'm not, looking forward to. Anyway, I've moved all the Soviet troops that I can for this turn. France is definitely going to have to do a land this impulse. What are we doing with the Commonwealth? Are we doing a land or a naval? Or a combined, because we have an 8-5 Canadian right here. Let's do a combined with Britain, because we want to get these Canadians into action. So, 1, 2. If we're doing a combined, we'll do it properly. Let's go combine. Port attack phase. We can't do any of those yet. Would love to, but do I have anything to do port attack with currently? No, I do not. I'm a bit too splintered here, honestly. So they have left port in everything. On the other hand, I'm outgunned here, aren't I? I'm not outgunned there, so we can activate. We have 2 naval activations to make. We don't have enough more troops here. That is a problem. Not a single piece of infantry anywhere. Do we have anything new coming in anytime soon? Hopefully. Nope, some South Africans and Indians. Okay. This is the problem with the Commonwealth. All of the troops are everywhere, except where we want them to be. South Africans, eh? I guess we'll activate this transport here. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So it's on the way to South Africa, so we can pick up the South African troops. And then we'll activate this pile of naval stuff and send it up here in the top hex, in the top box. From there we can do port attacks next turn. 1, 2, 3, because we want to sink this convoy if there's a chance. And those are the 2 naval activations. You're right. I guess those counters aren't clipped, but it doesn't matter because I don't have the little tufts that would be there if this was a physical board. There I go. So it's fine. They're still nice and smooth. Where was I? Here we were. Combined actions, naval movement, naval combat. There's really no naval combat right now. I'm not going to go looking for another fight with the Italians here, these guys, because that would be foolhardy. Italy actually has local superiority right now in Central and Eastern Med because I chose to go here, but that's because we have some juicy transports in Genoa to attack with these guys. As so many times, the British Navy is literally stretched. Anyway, we have a strategic bombardment base. Okay. We can make use of that immediately to bomb Berlin. Where'd my bomber go? Here it is. Hello, bomber. I'm gonna definitely do that. Because there's nothing to stop us, because the Luftwaffe is stretched beyond capacity. So, bombing Berlin with the 8. We have 8. And it's a +1 because there's no interception happening here. And we roll a 6. That's a 7 on the 8, which is not enough to actually destroy a factory. But it does destroy 3 build points for Germany, so that's pretty devastating for Germany. That bomb run was horrible, and Hermann Goering is eating his hat again. He's going through hats, Hermann Goering, in this world. So, British strategic bombers hit Berlin for lots of damage on the industries. And now we're doing a limited ground phase here. We do not have any tactical bombers left to attack German stacks with, particularly these, because we use them all in defense. Except if we're using, it would be a Hail Mary. I guess I could do a Hail Mary. Roll once. Because why not? Let's send out Wainwright here to do some work. Wainwright and these lads here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And hope we can hit something there. It's 2 ones required. This is what we need here to save the front line, basically. And I don't think there's anything left within the Luftwaffe to stop this. I think we have used all the fighters in the Luftwaffe, haven't we? Yes, we have. So, Hail Mary, Full Grace, says so we have 2 ones on the top and then 2 ones on the bottom. That's a miss, and that is a hit! A palpable hit! The tactical bombers have done it. The fighters have done it. They have actually turned the Hermann Goering core upside down, which means that the Germans will need to use one of its transport planes to unflip that unit. Can be done. Can be done. The Germans have the capacity to do, but yeah, that certainly delays the German attack by a full impulse, I would think. Okay, this is a bit annoying. The counters are leaning on each other in the most frustrating way. Here we go. Okay, the Royal Air Force came in low in the Low Countries and bombed the Hermann Goering division, so they have to reorganize. Alright, that was our ground strikes. That's like literally everything used now. Strategic movement phase. We have very little of that for Britain, for obvious reasons. Also for France, for equally obvious reasons, I think. I have my 4-3 in Marseille here. I don't really want to pull it out. On the other hand, maybe I should. There's not going to be any new invasions right now from the Italians, so we can put them here. But that's during the land, so that's regular land movement, so it's not strategic movement. So not much in the way of strategic movement. We do have land moves. So Commonwealth on a combine gets to do 3 land moves, which is going to be, I think, enough. We have the 7-4 here. The Italian East Africa could go all the way to the Sudan here. There's nothing I can do to stop it, unless I move the Australians. So we're going to move them here, apparently. Can I move them one more step there? I don't think so. Or perhaps I can and they get flipped. I need to check the rules for that. It's also a transport. What did I just do? That was not at all what I intended. Right turn. There we go. That's better. So that's 1, 2, Yeah, here comes the next question. Do I want to move these guys up here? I think I do. Because we still don't want them to move through here. But now, should I have a French corps here in case of a breakthrough? You move 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, like that. Do I want to move? This would have to be an assault, so that's not a terrible danger right now. But I'm not feeling entirely comfortable with nothing in Paris in case things break down here. Like that. Maybe that is the better move. We have them contained. We can't do anything about flipping them this turn because we're going to use all our aircraft in the north. I will move the goal over there. And I will also start moving the attack out of Strasbourg. I think that would have to be it for the French. Oh, why is that unit flipped? It should not be flipped. It's a new turn and I haven't touched anything French naval yet. Alright. I think that will have to do for the French defenses here. The goal can be used to unflip stuff. And will be used for that purpose, definitely. You know what, if I put the goal here instead, and he unflips these guys, then there's no more +1 on the attack. We're doing everything we can here to make it hard for the Germans to break through, and so far we're doing pretty well in that regard. So there is yet a German attack to happen, I'm pretty sure, this turn that can do bad things to the French. Okay, we have done what we could with the French and with the British, I believe. We're not going to attack anything, obviously. That's just silly. Okay then. We will move on to the next impulse, which is the Nexus impulse. Alright. Japanese can move 3 units. 1, 2. This one is 10 defense. We have 6 coming across the water here, which is not enough, so that's going to be not nearly enough to attack. We can send these guys by a railroad there to Wuhan. We can 1, 2, 3, 4. That fighter. Getting closer to the front lines to give proper support here. Can't attack anything anyway right now because of what turn it is and so on. So, yeah. Communist line holds. And to get over here, we need to go all the way around this big lake. So I think this is a decent flank for the Chinese at the moment. Yeah, not much else to do with the Japanese, really. Italy! We have full supply to all our troops. I really need to check if this guy can move to the off-map box there. Because if he can, then the Sudan will remain in Allied hands. Otherwise, not so much. Action segment. Land movement. 18. Face-up land units may move from a land section to any adjacent land section. Yes. In an adjacent hex may move into a land section and cease movement there, then turn. So no. They have to be adjacent hex. Which means that I think Italy should be doing land this time. We have 7 here in defense. Should we do combined? I think it's probably worth doing a land because Italy has only 2 land moves on the combined. And I don't really have any naval moves to make per se. So we will move this lad over here to Sudan. And thus take Khartoum from the nefarious British. And doing that, face-up land units may move from one land section to any adjacent land section. They're then turned face down and cease movement. They're going to get the South Africans in here, so I don't know how to defend that. We will need transports. We can't get any transports. It's pointless move, honestly, because the South Africans will just come here and roll things up from that side. So let's not bother with that right now. We have 8 points in defense here. We have, this is not a coastal hex. It is. So we could get 2, 4 extra in shore bombardment. But so could they. They could get 1 point in shore bombardment defense. So I'd have 7 plus, how much is this? 11 plus 7 is 18 plus 4. That's 22 plus 4 is 26 versus 9. 2-1. On the Blitzkrieg table, but still just the 2-1. Oh, well, you don't have to make the decision just yet. Oh, look at that! We can do a ground strike right here. Boom. Let's do that. Okay, we have our first air combat. Italy versus the Commonwealth. With the Commonwealth having +1. So, let's go. Oof. The Commonwealth just absolutely murdered the Italians in the sky. It continues from last turn. We have 2 for the Commonwealth on a +1, which is an attacker destroyed. And we have a 9 shooting back on a -1, which is nothing. So, attacker decides what should be destroyed. Let's destroy the tactical bombers. Why not? No! Let's destroy the fighter. So we have really air superiority. Boom. Okay, will the tactical bomber remain here or not? No, it will not. We're going home. We are not continuing this fight. Thank you very much. And that is a huge British victory in the air. Yet again, the Italians have been absolutely humiliated. Okay, that's the resource Italy wants. It's very far away. There's going to be a long walk here. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Do I need all of these guys on? I have supply here. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to move this guy over here with Tripoli. And I think we're going to just railroad Graziani over here so he can be used next turn. And I think that's going to be it for now. We're slowly moving up Tunisia here towards Tunis. Then we'll just keep moving along that line. If I'm not going to use the transports this turn, which no, then let's move these guys, the Albanians as it were. Where do I want the Caballero? Did I have? I'm so confused now. Okay, so maybe it's like this then. These guys have 15 defense, which is a lot. I do not get... So I can move these guys down here. I now have 50. That's 1 to 1. Yay. We could shift it up to 2 to 1. On the other hand, I'm not sure that's actually a bad idea. It's assault, so it is a bad idea. Yeah, it's a bad idea. 60% chance of actually getting through, but if I roll terribly, then the French will attack and occupy Turin and stuff. That would just be very sad. These guys over here instead of using the transports for now. So now I have 9 plus. It's still just 1 to 1. But it's only this one unit. And if I can kill that one unit, it's a 50-50 chance on a 1 to 1. Very high risk whatever. I think I want some more troops before I do this. These guys are currently out of supply, cannot fight, otherwise they would have a 2 to 1 against these guys. Plenty of transports, all the transports you can shake a stick at, but not enough actual troops to transport them. Alright. Alright. Let's have a look at the Germans, shall we? I'm gonna have to do a combine sooner or later. If for no other reason to send out some submarines and whatnot. Gonna send out the Hochseeflotte, the Kriegsmarine, with 2 of these boys. Could I bomb Newcastle? 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't want to bomb Newcastle. It's 5 to 5, I guess. We have a equal opportunity to fight in the air. 1, 2, 3. It's much better to bomb Paris in that case. So we can do that. Okay. I can't attack here this turn because I only have the 7-4 there. We can attack Paris. There's nothing French that can stop us. It's only a 5. We're bombing Paris mostly for morale purposes. +1 because no interception. 2. That's terrible. Yeah, nothing. At least we've used the strategic bombers this time. So we are going to move stuff up. We have a 6-7 there. Let's put the fear of the Deutsche Afrika Corps in there. Shall we? Like that. It's a shuffle, so now I have 16, which is 8 coming across the river. Yay. But the fact that they actually managed to hit that tank means that I can't really do the assault I want, the attack across the river this turn. Do I have to? 7 plus 8 is 15 versus 9. I have 1-4 left. Versus 9. I will have 19 versus 9, which gives us 2-1 on the Blitzkrieg table, which is still terrible. It's Blitzkrieg. No, it's not. Yeah, it's Blitzkrieg because I have more tanks than they have in defense. So I could. So the question comes down to: do I want to try to use my? Where did they go? Oh, here we go. I want to use this guy as ground support or ground strike. Ground strike is only 1 or 2 to actually flip something. Ground support is 4. I could throw in one of the paras as well. Then I'd have 24 versus 9, which is still 2-1. Yes, it's max of desperation. There is a reason why it's max of desperation. Germany is desperate at this particular moment. We need to get through somewhere. 2-1 with no pluses at all. On the Blitzkrieg table. Or we wait that impulse. And do this later when we have this tank turned up. Because it would give me, I lose the 5, but I gain an 8. So instead of having, I'd have 27 against 9, which is 3-1, which is better. Yeah, I like that. Okay, let's try to just flip these guys. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, one Air Force. Oh, we should have returned one of these guys to the coast. Okay, we'll try to flip these guys. It's a success on one, and it's a failure on the other. But I think it has this. There is a redemptive arc here for the Luftwaffe. They fought well this turn. And they managed to flip the 4, which is actually major, because that means that we can't get the 6 in here to defend. Unless we want to move out the 5. But it's going to be less of a difference And then we'll flip this guy to unflip this guy. So next impulse will have a lot of boom coming in, basically. But I think, for me, that is all that we can do for now. Here we have 6, that's 18 defense. I have not enough to attack. It's just not enough to attack. Okay then. Yugoslavia isn't coming to attack us anytime soon, is it? It's gonna take a little while, isn't it? So I don't really need the 9. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's put them in Munich. From there you can advance up to the north there. These boys can go up here to Copenhagen. Now that the invasion force is up here. Alright, that is it, I think, for the axis for this impulse. We continue to the Allied impulse. This is a long term, folks. China. Not much to do here. What do we get in China anytime soon? We get another nationalist. Well, I guess that's good for the south. Not so great for the north. But we're gonna hold here. Are we gonna hold here though? Because if the Axis get the initiative next turn, we have a room, so that's not a guarantee at all. Yeah, we're just gonna hold for now. Just hold. Hold until relief. There is no relief coming for you. The Soviets. We can do some shuffling here. Like 1, 2, 3. One. Flip. Flip. No reason to fret, Finland. Not at all. That's 3 units moved. Five units moved. Moved out of Minsk so we can get reinforcements there. Okay, France, France. Does France have an aircraft carrier? Yeah, we do have an aircraft carrier. Look at that. Well, we do want them out, don't we? So let's take the opportunity here to send out this as a naval then, or combined, very least. So, yeah, that's possible. 1, 2, like that. I'm gonna be facing a lot of troops anyway. No, that's a combined. Okay, we have to do a combined. You're right. You're right. We have to do a combined. We have to do that shuffle. That's 3 land moves and 1 naval move. But 1 naval move should be enough for France because we activate the entire stack down here. And we're gonna send what out where? We can send these French submarines out here to try to attack the Italian convoy. We will send these guys out here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we can try to do that port attack later on. These guys can go 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4, 5. And yes, I do believe we're going to flip an Italian here to try to intercept. Well, look at that. Both sides find, and the Italians find with everything, which is not so good for the French. But we're gonna have these guys coming out at the same time, so I'll have to roll for the Brits as well, I guess. Okay. The French found, the British do not find. Well, that's sad. Or even surprised, but I don't really know. Wait, is it just an Allied fleet now? Because they're all... I think it's just an Allied fleet. So, who rolls for the Allies? Let's go with the first roll, which means that they all find. So, that means that the Commonwealth is doing something Navy-like as well, apparently. Which makes sense. I think I want to activate this transport, for example. But where to? Where to? We have a bunch of Indians. We can send out to some Indians. 1. 2. This is good. I need to move them. 3. Now, why not just put them here? Count that as used. Railroad. It's a 5-4, so it's a good one. Railroad these guys there. Do we have any? Yeah, we have some streams left. We do need the streams over here, don't we? We've activated. I need to do the port attack with the. So these guys are going in for a port attack. Let's go. Port attack. Port attack. Port attack. Port attack. Port attacks. Face up aircraft units other than those in a sea box and face up the CVs which are in a sea box are eligible to make a port attack. Aircraft units with an air to sea factor greater than 0 may fly into the port hex. So any port in a coastal hex in the sea area after a location dies roll for each port attacked. The CV is only eligible to attack that port if that die roll is equal to or less than the number of the sea box section it occupies. Let's see if the British can do a port attack on Genoa. They cannot. Okay, we tried. We tried. Sadly, they couldn't find the possibility. Aircraft units are always eligible to attack, so no die roll is necessary for them. Okay. We tried to attack Genoa, we failed. Okay, did I roll for all this? I think, oh yeah, it was everybody found each other, so we're gonna have a big naval battle here with everything involved. So that's gonna be 11 plus 8 is a lot. That's 19 versus the 7 plus 6, which is 13. 19 versus 13. 19 versus 13. Okay, so how many enemy units do we have? We have 4 enemy units for Britain to shoot at. For the Allies to shoot at, I should say. So there's 2 dice on number 2. So let's go and see what that does. 3 and a 2. A 3 is an aborted light surface, and 2 is an aborted heavy surface. So this guy will be aborted, and this guy will be aborted, I guess. Meanwhile, we had 11. Boom, boom, boom. Against 4 units also. 11 against 4. That is 1 on a 3. Oh. How about that? The Italians can shoot back. They can do damage, perhaps. They roll a 2. Maybe not. But maybe. Oh yeah, but that is an aborted... No, they rolled... These are damages, aren't they? I rolled a 2. 2 and a 3. So, yeah, these are actually damages, not aborts. Okay then. 16. 2 and 2, yes. That's damages, not aborts. That's much better. And then I rolled a 2 for the Italians, which is an aborted light surface, damaged CV. But there is no CV in this C area. So that means that I guess we get, if particularly is not available, the opponent can pick another type of naval unit to take those on instead. Conversion. Okay, so we are going to hit the lion and gets damaged, and the light surface of the defender's choice is aborted. So that's going to be this one, obviously. So this one is going to go home. That is flipped, and the lion is damaged and goes into the repair pool. Massive British Navy combat and allies, really, on the high seas against the Italian Navy, and I think it's a win for the Allies because the Italian Navy is more hurt than the Allies are. The Italian Navy is pretty aggressive at the moment, honestly. It has a lot of ships that need to be repaired. I guess the Italians are fortunate that they got away with only 2 ships being damaged like that instead of something much worse. So, Central Mediterranean is contested. We don't want to engage these guys. So I think we're done with what we needed to do with the Allies. The British... Oh, I didn't send these subs out. I should have done that with Germans. Let's do it right now. So 1, 2, 3. That means that the British will have to go out with some units to escort those 4 saps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And apparently the British are doing just the naval this time, which makes sense because there isn't a whole lot we can do on land, is there? Yeah, let's send all of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Boom, like that. That should ensure that the German U-boats do not attack us. And I think that is it for this turn, honestly, for this impulse for the Allies. There's precious little more they can do right now. They could send out these guys, and will. Why not? If for no other reason to be just really annoying. 1, 2, 3, 4, because these guys can go and strafe various Axis units. And that is before ground strikes, so we can actually do that right away with these guys. So it's a ground strike, which means that it's basically roll ones. Two ones for both of those laptops and aircraft carriers. So top German unit is hit. Bottom German unit is not hit. That is Karl Voss's unit. It is disorganized and disrupted by the Royal Navy aircraft that are dropping bombs on them from the coastline. Which means that Antwerp is safe this turn as well, I think. Maybe, possibly. Alright, we've done the French stuff, we've done the naval movement, we've done naval combat. Okay, we need to do another search here because neither side wants to give up the fight in the Central Med. Let's go. And both sides find again. Nobody is surprised. Decisive advantage for the Allies this time. 9 versus 5. Well, I don't know if decisive is the right word. 9 against 2. That's 1 on a 2. And 5 against 2 is 1 on a 1. Okay, so let's see what we get. The Allies roll a 6, the Axis roll a 2, Italians roll a 2. We had a 1 on a 1, that's nothing, and I roll a 6. This one, that is a light surface destroyed. So this one is destroyed. It has better range than the other one, but has lower. Yep. Italy is suffering. The Regia Marina is suffering some serious losses this turn. Do we want to continue fighting here? Italy needs to, because it needs to maintain the supply line to its units. So let's go. Will the supply line be severed or not? This time Italy finds, but these guys do not. There's no surprise though, so why would I want to? Okay, so I guess we're going to be aborted here and out of supply. We're going to be aborted and out of supply, and we do not want to continue this fight. Tra-la-la. Okay, the Regia Marina has taken a real beating because France is still in the war. That's terrible. Okay, there we have it. Yep. The Allies have managed to chase the Italian Navy away from the coastline. Is there anything much to do here? One, two, 3, 4. I can do that. Now I have aircraft that can contest the Chinese. I could have reorganized him last. No, I couldn't because I just read him. So this, I could have reorganized him last turn. So let's put this guy in here then with a single move. Can't do any attacks this turn though because we've used that. What do I get here? 12. I can put this 8 here. That's going to be 12 divided in 2 because of the river. So it's going to be 6. So that's 18 plus 9 is 27 plus 13 is 40 against 16. 2 to 1. Something, and if we can flip some stuff up here. might even have a fighting chance to get somewhere. This is 15 plus 12. 27 plus, it's actually 3 to 1. It's actually better odds. Okay, we'll see. Not much we can do about it this turn. Italy currently has no supply to these units in North Africa because there are Allied ships out here and no Italian ships to contest them. Italy will activate here though, because we do need to try and do something with those ships. So it's another activation roll. This Mediterranean is just an absolute battlefield right now. Then that's not so good. These guys are gonna get surprised because again the Allies are lucking out on findings on their search rolls. So you're gonna have these guys are gonna be surprised. Or we can find this guy who would not be surprised. Which is probably smarter. 5, that's 5 versus 4, or 5 versus 11. Yeah, okay, 5 versus 4 it is. 5 versus, what is it? The Allied ships are fighting they're fighting 1 ship. So 5 versus 1 ship, that's a 1. Die on a 1, which is a 5, which is an aborted ship, and it is a heavy surface ship, which doesn't exist in this particular hex, so in this particular C box, so it's going to be just that one that gets aborted. And that was a 5 on... How much do we have here again? 4. 4 versus 2, so yeah, okay, that's another abort. That was exactly the same result. So intense fighting out here. So abort this once. Let's put it in Alexandria. Another search roll because we are not done here with. Are you kidding me? The Regia Marina is surprised. 3 versus 11 this time. That's not so good though. Didn't necessarily want to find those guys. Okay. Let's roll to see what we find, what kind of results we get on the combat table here. We have 3 versus 2 ships. 3, but ships up there because of the surprise. Versus 2 ships, it's 1 on the 2, and we rolled a 5, which is a damaged heavy surface. Is there a heavy surface? Yes, there is. The Littorio and the Vittorio Veneto is damaged. The heavy surface group. Half of the Italian Navy is gone by now. More than half. And the Italians rolled a 1, and Vittorio Veneto has 7 plus the 4, which is 11, minus 1 there against 1 unit. So okay, it's a 1 on the 2 as well, but I rolled a 1 for that, and that is nothing at all. Enormous cannons are heard across the Mediterranean, and lots of scrap end up on the bottom. Nobody finds either way, so this time it is in the smoke and haze. The destroyers don't find each other anymore. So the Eastern Med is still contested. Yeah. Italy's gonna have to rebuild its navy. help Germany. Germany is going to do another invasion. We're going to invade Oslo here. It's a land move, so this is going to be like Germany does land again. But we can add 6 points for the invasion. And Rundstedt is going to help out here. So we have 14 plus this is 13 here. That gives us another 7 in attack, basically. Right? It's 4 plus 3 equals 7. So it's 21 versus 9. That is 2 to 1. Rundstedt can shift that up to 3 to 1 possibly. These ships here used. And we are also going to try and do an attack here in the south, obviously, because everything's flipped, basically. Patan can affect the odds here. So we're not getting any more ground support from anyone. But that is 11 in defense, and we have here 15 plus, that's 16. So that's 8 plus 15. 23 divided by, what did you say? 11. That is 2 to 1 on the Blitzkrieg table. Man, these are not glorious odds. These are not glorious odds at all. But they are odds! Okay, so we have 2 land attacks then. Are we doing any moves at all? I mean, without the offensive chip, there's no real point in attacking it. So, yeah, let's see if this can decide the destiny for France. It's a 2 to 1 plus 1 on the attack, though, because 10 will try to shift down the odds to 1. It's a desperate gamble, but it's the only one we have. He fails. Okay, then. It was worth it. 2 to 1 with a plus 1 on the attack. On the Blitzkrieg table, are we going to get across the river? Yes, we are. This is what the Germans have been waiting for all along. It is a breakthrough, ladies and gentlemen. We have a breakthrough. The Germans are not even flipped. Okay, but it is just a regular breakthrough, so the French don't actually lose any units. This is a shatter plus breakthrough result, which tells us what? S plus breakthrough. Remaining defending units that can retreat are removed from the map and placed on the production spiral to return the following game turn. They can all retreat. This stack is removed and placed on the production spiral to return to game next turn. Will that be enough to save France, though? That is the question. The Germans are across in the Ardennes. The Tan has been shattered together with its entire command, and we have a breakthrough. But the Germans cannot actually smash through the lines behind there because they don't have enough troops to do it. We have 12 here, we have 13 there. Yeah, definitely. We need to move this one there, so we have now 2 German tank corps across the Meuse. all Germany needed for the rest of the summer, because now holding the rest of France is gonna get gnarly. Very gnarly indeed. 17. Either against this 10 here or against these 4. I mean, it's a choice, isn't it? 17 against 4. Yeah. Germany wants another impulse. Thank you. Please and thank you. And we'll send in more troops this way. Definitely. There's exploitations to be made. I think that was really key for Germany to be able to win. I don't think they're going to grab Paris this turn, though it's not entirely impossible. This is like the last potent force here. These 10 defending new strength points. And this kind of move, snaking through here, could be all that is necessary. But that is that for... Notice we've been working here a long time. For this impulse. And this turn just continues. I am actually going to stop the stream here in the middle of a turn for the first time ever, because we've been at this for a while and my brain is getting a little bit fried. And oh, we have this attack to do as well. Yeah, look at that. See what I mean by my brain is getting fried? I said, what did I say here? We had 27 versus 9. That is 3-1. Rundstedt is going to try to make it a 4-1. Or is he? This is assault, so 3-1. If I get a 4-1. That's a good question, isn't it? It's a 50-50 chance of making the 4-1. But regardless, I'll have a 1 in 6 to lose 2 units. I think we're going to try to use Rundstedt for this. Yes, let's go. Rundstedt fails miserably. Okay, let's see what the outcome is. Oh, it's terrible. Look at that. 3-1 on the assault table, and that's terrible. That was like the worst outcome I could get, probably. Yep, the Norwegians are holding fast. And I believe the invasion force, are they killed or they just remain on the ships? I don't remember that off the top of my head. Invasions. Attacking limits. Yeah. Yes, the common factors half. We know this. Fail to retreat or destroy all enemy land units are destroyed and put back in the force pool. Okay. So that was a terrible result. That was the worst result we could get. Hitler is screaming in the bunker right now. How could you do this to me, Wehrmacht? You stupid generals. That's us, Wehrmacht, or something. See. Doubtful. Okay, we tried. We did not get through. And of course these guys get flipped. Oh wow. all won. Yeah, that was painful. Was it the one I rolled? Yeah, it was the one. Alright, I'm going to pause here and we'll come back next time to continue this summer turn. The Allies are up. The French are in something of trouble here. If this is a long turn, then Paris might well fall. It was a good thing I put the 5-3 in there. If it's a short turn, then Germany will have to contend with all the Allied air units again. And who knows, maybe the French can pull some air units down here to flip the Italians and get that going. But so far, it's been really bad for Italy. The Regia Marina, the Italian Navy, is not at the bottom of the sea. A couple of destroyer groups are, but all their battleships are in need of repairs. So it's been tremendously bad for them. And the North African troops are currently out of supply, which the British should make use of. Maybe do some attacking here when they can get around to it. There's no risk of Italian invasion here. There's a good reason for the New Zealanders to start marching westwards to help out here with maybe attacking there and so on. But we'll continue with that in a week from now. Thank you very much for tuning in, everybody, and we will jump into the middle of this May-June turn, which is not done yet, and see how this might end. Will France hold? Make your bets now, and see you guys soon.